Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, back with yet more Master Quest. I know that there's 10 parts in and the game's not over yet, who would have thought? And in this episode we're going to make some actual progress in the story, rather than titting around like I promised I would. Now, there is one thing in Hyrule Castle Town that I forgot to get. I know I had to get it at some point, and it just sort of eluded me, and on a normal playthrough, in a non-Let's Play playthrough, I would have got it by now, just because I'm not having to think carefully about where do I want to be and when. And this isn't one of those random trees that has a Skulltula in it. But yes, there's a thing that we were told to go and get by the Great Fairy on top of Death Mountain a couple of episodes ago, where if we go to that dead end in Hyrule Castle grounds, we can get some more magic. And by all rights, I should have gone and got that by now, but I'm already over here, and I'm all ready to commence with Chapter 3, as it were. And I don't think we really need it, per se, until I think just before the second last main dungeon, so I'm cool to wait until after this, because we're going to be going back to Hyrule Castle after the next dungeon anyway. So yes, then next up, the Chapter 3 Gorons are the Zora people. Zora? Anyway, this is kind of what I was saying about how this game could be less linear than it is, because all you need to get into Zora's domain is Zelda's Lullaby, and of course we have that now. But they have this roadblock here to make sure you have bombs as well, and like, well, what's the point? Why put this here? Why not just let me come here a bit sooner? And this is another tree Skulltula. Wow, Link, you want to hit that tree some more despite the fact that you're far ahead of it. Hi. Now, I believe you need this chicken to jump over that gap here, but I've seen people manage to do it without grabbing the chicken, so I don't know. But first of all, there's this asshole here. This is what these... Link closing his eyes just as I hit pause. These patches of dirt, that guy is the real reason they're here. They happen to also... well, clipping through the tree. Make it look like it's a tiny tree, and my bottle is going through it. But these dirt patches aren't just here to contain gold Skulltulas. Assuming they all do? Because I thought they all do, but apparently that one doesn't. Okay then. Unless it did, and I somehow got the only bug that was going to climb into it. So, the real reason these patches of dirt exist is magic beans. You plant a bean in them, and then they grow up later in the game, and you can ride them to shortcuts and heart pieces and the like, and they increase in price every time you buy them. So you buy the first one for 10, the second one for 20, etc, etc, all the way up to 100 because there are only 10 magic beans. And I'm almost tempted to just buy all 10 and just hoard them until I can use them. And there are a couple of heart pieces just out in the open here. I could try for them now. Admittedly, my memory of Zora's River, which is this area, isn't as strong as it could be. There are other parts of the game that I remember more. And so I don't remember if we can actually get this now. We've certainly got bloody close to it. And can I make it? I can make it! I was not expecting to be able to do that. So we have yet another Heese part. There are a couple of gold Skulltulas here as well, but those can wait. And there's this minigame as well, which we can't actually do this minigame yet. We need to have learned the entire top row of songs, and we haven't, so we'll just play unto them every single song that we know, and they give us money for it, and once we teach them all the songs that we know, we'll get a heart piece out of it, or something. I think there's one of the 2 songs we don't know is just an instant heart piece, and then the other 5 are just play them songs that we know. So each one of the 5 gets bigger every time. Bleh. Play each song once. One of them's an instant heart piece, the other 5 will make one frog grow a bit bigger. And I'm doing this now because then I can go back and get the other magic beans, or at least some of them. Won't have enough to buy all of them yet. Plus, we don't know all the songs of the top row, so we can't completely satisfy these little Froggingtons. So I'll speed up the rest, and so you can hear some chipmunk ocarina, which kind of sounds like it should be a song as it is, just like a song from the charts. Then again, I don't want to waste how much ocarina I have, so is this the last song that we can play to them at the moment? No. Do they accept the Sun song? I think they do. They should. From what I was saying, they should. Well, I could I could play them the Sun Song now and get the last 50 rupees, but then that would be a slight waste of money, you see. So I'm gonna... Well, I'll swim back just to show that if you swim through Zora's River, you do occasionally just get random money for some reason. Also, blue Tektites, they're like red Tektites, but they have more HP and they do stuff on water. Yeah, if you swim through the river, then you get money out of it. Any other time that I have to backtrack like this... Well, if I have to backtrack through this area again later, I'll cut that stuff out, but... And also, while I'm here, have I mentioned that if we do the spin attack, then it'll... Like, the thing we got a couple of episodes ago that gave us magic power in the first place, that's what that is, the spin attack. The quick spin attack now has a blue thing around it. We can also charge it up and it'll... It will be more and it will upgrade to orange. I'll explain it in more detail when it becomes more relevant. And so, next one's 20 rupees, and then the next one after that will be 30 rupees. And you know what, I've decided here and now, I'm going to buy every single magic bean and not plant any of them until I have all 10. And, bitch, they're not going to be more popular. I'm the only one buying them, and you're eating the rest. Hey. And now we can't afford them, even though we have nearly 50 rupees in hand. And apparently you can just jump over this, so my entire childhood I was lied to by myself. I'll just put on the bunny hood because it's cute. Now, if we're quick about it, we can get to the end of Zora's River and get the gold Skulltula that's waiting for us at the end. I don't remember if there are any others here, and if there are, then exactly where they are, I don't know. Later in the game, I'll come back and do a sweep of the area to pick up any Skulltulas that I missed, because, let's face it, I'm going to miss some. I don't think they're... Now, I would say I don't think they're all in the same places as they are in Vanilla Ocarina of Time. Certainly that's true of the ones inside dungeons, but the ones outside dungeons, I'm not as sure. So if someone can correct me on that, then please feel free to. As I say in my videos sometimes, I will never not accept comments, even if you're watching from the year 2012, or whenever you happen to be watching. Anyway, there's a heart piece there that we could get now if we bring the chicken all the way up here, but I can't be fucked with that because the next dungeon item will allow us to get it a lot more easily anyway. So here we are. 2 steps ahead and staying on guard. Every lesson forms a new scar. They never thought you'd make it this far. And I shall stop quoting Taylor Swift because otherwise she's probably going to take this video down because she's just sort of like that. And yet I'm a fool because I think her music is okay. Anyway, playing Zelda's Lullaby, proving that we are indeed somehow connected to the royal family, like it's some sort of royal Jenga or something. And it just so happens to be cinematically turning into daytime as we go, and if you do idle too long, the waterfall does close back up. So, if you're coming into Zora's Domain, play the song and then just come in, don't waste any time. And so here we are, Zora's Domain, very pretty music. I am rather fond of this place. It's a nice area. And that's not a reference to what happens later in the game. And admittedly that is kind of a cat-handed way of alluding to it anyway. So, one of the most infamous characters in Zelda history, King Zora. All of Hyrule's water flows through his arse crack and under his fishy testicles. You're welcome for that mental image. Now, the real reason why we're here, I mean, okay, so the Zora Princess is missing, but that's none of our concern. Why should we care when there's another minigame to be had? Hello there, with your surprisingly defined pectoral muscles. I do think the Zoras are cute, anyway. A different kind of cute compared to the Gorons, but cute nonetheless. And so, diving minigame, we have to jump off the waterfall, which sounds like a brilliant idea, and just pick up all these rupees. And we paid 20 to play, but that's 5 blue rupees, so as long as we can get all 5 within the allotted 50 seconds, we'll get our money back, and then some. So there's... What? Did you pick it up, Link? I think you did. It looks like you did. Why am I still speculating whether you did or not? The rupee's clearly gone, and it has been added to our wallet. If only I could... I was going to say, if only it could be added to our Steam wallet, but... First of all, that's just an awkward thing to say. And also this game is really easy, and the more times you play it in a row, the more the more valuable the rupees are that he throws down for you to catch. But the general gist of what I was thinking just then is, wouldn't it be nice if you could earn money in video games and then have that be converted into real-world money? But the only ways of doing that at the moment are by let's playing, streaming, or illegal activities involving bitcoins of the like. So, buddyhood! That's relevant. Anyway, we are actually required to do this minigame. So, that's probably half the reason why it's so easy compared to the bastard bowling alley! But, yeah, so, take these back off just in case we're judged for wearing them. But the reward we get for this is a slightly... we get an Instagram filter. We have a scale, and the way he worded that confused me as a child. This is a scale of our kind, like, why have we still got the water filter on? Like, it's just a weird way of wording it. A scale of our kind. Like, could you not just say, you know what? I didn't mean to talk to him, but yeah, why not? See, he starts... See, there's a purple rupee in there. Immediately, if we can grab that, that's an instant 50 rupees. Admittedly, it looks pink, but it's purple. And it is slightly harder to do now, because now that we've got the silver scale, we can dive twice as deep. But we could do this, and I don't know if you actually get a reward for getting all the rupees a subsequent time and then reporting back to him. I'm going to try to, because it's free money. Well, it's not free money, we'll pay 20 rupees for him to throw the rupees down in the first place, but considering that the first rupee we got was a purple rupee worth 50, it's essentially free money. Like, even if we fuck up the rest of it, we're going to get at least a 30 rupee profit. So I could, theoretically, once I collect all these, just go back out to Zora's River and go all the way back down to the Magic Bean guy. And that would be a bit of a crap thing to do, because, well, this is the same recording session as last time, and it's still Tuesday. I've got a guest who's only available on Thursday, so I kind of need to get this third dungeon over and done with, preferably by the end of today. Now, I'm going to talk to him, because I don't know if he has another reward for doing that, or if he just keeps offering you... I don't know if there's a prize for doing it a second time, because you're not required to. It doesn't yield a piece of heart. I don't think he'd give you anything apart from the offer to continue playing, and I'd rather not, because I've shown this game off to its maximum capacity, so no thanks. Now, the reason why we need the silver scale is there's a doorway down here, and in a similar vein to the door between Lost Woods and Goron City, it has this white transition, which means that it's essentially a shortcut that takes you all the way across the world. Lake Hylia, we're down here. Zora's Domain is all the way up here. Oh, we have 20 gold sculptures now. I'll have to turn those in at some point, because there's another reward for getting 20. Yeah. So... Also, we need the silver scale. See, you could come here without the silver scale, but you need the silver scale to dive down to get whatever this is, because this is a plot MacGuffin that... I've seen other LPers pick this up effortlessly, but for me it's always been a bit of a struggle to get this. But it's an empty bottle. It's quite clearly an empty bottle. Look how empty it is. Oh wait, now I realise there's something that's already inside. Now, we should go straight back to Zora's Domain with this, because of the contents of that bottle. But there's some stuff I want to do while we're here first, so I shall equip it, because it's worth looking at, because it's a letter in a bottle. We should see what do and who say with the words. So what does it say? Take out the bottle, dump it into your hand. Oh, that came out nastily. It's... Yes, we've established this. Help me, I'm waiting for you inside Lord Jabu Jabu's belly. Don't tell my father. So guess who we have to tell about that. But first of all, which one are you? Bonuru. Bono the Scarecrow. Well then, we shall teach you a song. I did mean to look up, on the internet, what would... Like, if I could play a song from pop culture on the Ocarina and have that be the result of this, because you can make a custom 8-note song, and that becomes the Scarecrow's song. He won't accept anything that is a song from later in this game, and I can't think of any good ones off the top of my head, and I don't want to use the Goron's Lullaby from Majora's Mask because Messiah Nell did that, and I don't want to seem like this is a plagiarism of that. So... That was my rendition of the Elegy of Emptiness from Majora's Mask, but I had to add an extra note to it, because it has to be 8 notes. It can't be any fewer, and it can't be any more, so since the Elegy of Emptiness is only 7 notes long, I had to add the extra A, and from what I recall, that sounds decent enough. I don't know if the rhythm's even remotely close, because I can't hear it, but another patch. I could, and I should, put the magic beans in there, but no, this is a self-imposed challenge run now. Get all the magic beans and then plant them, just to be awkward. But I suppose that would make for a good montage of showing where all the bean holes are, as it were. In the meantime, though, we could just get another Skulltula. Literally just loading up on these things now. And you might think it seems a little bit excessive that we're getting 2 bottles, 2 episodes back to back. But they have to have one story-required bottle in here, because there is a bottle that is... You need to have at least one bottle in order to access the 3rd dungeon, which seems a bit strange on paper, but it makes a lot of sense in practice. So, first things first, we shall deliver the letter to King Arseballs, and then we shall proceed to the next dungeon, which, looking at the time, I suppose... I'm up to 18 minutes of recording so far. And I do have stuff to speed up, so we're probably closer to 13 or 14, maybe 15 minutes, depending on how much it is. I'm really bad at estimating time. I don't want to start the dungeon this late into an episode, so we'll just do other stuff in the meantime. Now, good sir, the one person I was told not to tell about this. Ho! Who are you calling a ho? Yes, the local problem here is the princess is missing, and she's inside Lord Jabu Jabu. And where is he? Well, he's in Zora's Fountain, just behind this arsehole. And that's the source of all of Hyrule's water. Admittedly, there is another waterfall to the side where some water comes out, but, I mean, come on, a lot of Hyrule... Considering Zora's Fountain is the source of water for all of Hyrule, that's Jabu Jabu's bath and toilet, and any overspill, half of it flows through this guy's nether regions. So we get to keep the bottle, and in the meantime, most notorious cutscene in Zelda history. Sped up for your convenience, of course. Yeah. On speedruns of this game, if you were to watch someone doing a speedrun... No, that's not it. Well, he is the bane of speedrunners, but also, if you watch this game... I think if you watch a speedrun of this game, the footage of which is in itself sped up, you can still clearly see him for a minute doing that or something. Now, torches that look like this with a wooden base will not go out once you light them. Though the skeletal ones with the other ones, those are temporary ones, that's how you tell the difference. Anyway, in a slight reprise of what we did in Goron City, take the fire from the King's Chamber and light up these other torches. Ones that look like this are temporary torches. And I think you can roll through here without the fire going out, but I'd rather not risk it. And I'm hoping I'm not missing any torches, because that would be most unfortunate, and if you go in the water here, then you'll lose the fire, obviously. And, oh, well, I'm surprised I did that in one clean run. And now the chest is on fire. And spamming B button, yep, once again, the only Deku Sticks I have lost in this playthrough are due to using them on bosses. I am rather proud of myself of this. Also, I've never actually used Deku Sticks on bosses prior to this playthrough, so that's a thing to consider. Now, I am so tempted to run back down to the bottom of Zora's River and get the next 2? Yeah, I could afford the next 2 magic beans. But there is something that we could get in Zora's Fountain now. And I suppose I should do it now, because it's another thing in the same vein, in the same family, as it were, as the thing that I should have got from the Great Fairy outside Hyrule Castle that I never went back for. And so, the one we're getting here is typically the second one that everyone gets. But I'm getting it first because I got so sidetracked by Bomb Tube Bowling that I forgot to get it when we were last there. And I could have done it at the start of this episode, but I didn't because I'm just that rebellious. So anyway, Lord Jabu Jabu. He's huge. So, Zora's Fountain. We'll be coming back here, well, Lord Jabu Jabu, in case you couldn't infer, is the next dungeon. And I don't like womb levels, but we don't really have a choice no matter now, do we? But first, we'll head over here. I don't think there are any fish out here, so we're going to need to head back inside, but I'll get a fish between episodes for reasons that you will see. And, yes there is, I had a feeling there was a Skulltula in that tree. We'll get what's in... Well, you might wonder, what do? We've come up against a wall, and there's a bombable rock there. I'm going to deliberately not bomb that rock, because I just want to check a thing. It's a load-bearing gold rock. Yeah, sure enough. The idea is for you to come over here, see, oh, there's this random gold rock. I'll destroy it because I can. And because it's right next to that wall, the wall will blow up too. But, nope, the wall by itself is destructible. And so here we are, a great fairy's fountain. Now, I mentioned this in the first episode that we encountered a great fairy. Something that bothers me quite a bit about them. The one that gave us the magic meter and the sword spin attack thing. She called herself the Great Fairy of Power, and so it's feasible to assume that the Great Fairies are named after the virtues of the Triforce, so there's going to be a Great Fairy of Wisdom and a Great Fairy of Courage. And then there are 3 other Great Fairies. There's the one in Hyrule Castle grounds, there's this one, and then there's one in an area that we've not even heard about yet, never mind seen. And they all proclaim themselves to be the Great Fairy of Magic, which I suppose is reasonable because the Great Fairies named after virtues don't give you items that consume magic directly. The first one gives you the spin attack, but if you just use the quick spin attack, then it doesn't consume any magic power. Whereas the things that these fairies give you do consume magic, so I suppose in that regard it makes sense. But this spell is named after Faror or Furore or whatever, and so it's fair to assume that the other 2 are named after Din and Nehru. So, bearing in mind I've just received a spell named after one of the goddesses, why is this not the Great Fairy of Courage? And I get that this uses magic and the Virtue Fairies things don't use magic, but still, they're using magic power to bestow upon you these new abilities and shit. Din, Nehru, and Faror? Nope, fairies of magic, obviously. Hey. I suppose while I'm here, I should show off. So, the spin attack that we got from that other Great Fairy. You do a quick spin attack, it'll do this little blue beam of energy, and it doesn't use any magic power. You hold it down, charge it up once, same thing, but it does use magic power. Hold your sword down, charge it twice, you have a bigger wave of power. And in Majora's Mask, for the original Majora's Mask, that orange wave is the default thing that if you do a quick spin attack. Like, it'll default to the more powerful of the 2 attacks. But in 3D, they updated it, so that's no longer the case. Anyway, I should end the episode now, because I'm going to do some stuff between episodes that you'll see at the start of next time. So, I have been, and will continue to be, Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode, we'll get started on my least favourite dungeon of the game. It's gonna be a fun time for everyone involved, I'm sure, so, see you then.